Walls keep people out. Boundaries shows them where the door is. Hi, welcome to Light and Shadows. My name is JF, and today we will talk about gender roles and expectation in society. Gender roles have been part of human society for centuries, shaping how people behave, what they do, and how they see themselves and others. These roles traditionally assign specific tasks, traits, and expectation to men and women. These roles are deeply rooted in cultural norms, religion, history, and even media. But as our world changes rapidly, so do our perceptions of gender. One word there that keeps my that caught my eye is norms. What are norms? What's normal? Define normal. And you'll find that defining normal varies greatly from individual to individual. So let's explore the concept of gender roles, where they come from, how they impact our daily lives, and why rethinking them is essential in today's society. Gender roles refer to the social expectations placed on individuals based on their perceived sex. These roles tell us how men and women should act, dress, speak, and engage with others. For example, men are often expected to be strong, logical, and career oriented, while women are expected to be caring, emotional, and focused on family life. You know what, guys? This was like 1950s and before. And again, there's another word that caught my eyes. There is the social expectation and perceived expectations are vary from individual to individual, and the way we perceive things also varies from individual to individual. So to try to group everything under these two words just doesn't work out. So while some people naturally fit into these roles, others find them limiting and even harmful. The reality is, gender is not a strict binary, and not everyone experiences their identity in the same way. That's why the conversation around gender roles is more relevant than ever. I was talking about this to somebody there last week, and can I put this nicely? They were saying like it's impossible to talk to, somebody that acts like a certain way or another way, somebody that doesn't act the way they act, basically. And I reminded them of something. Impossible is just a barrier to someone who refuses to take the first step, right? Impossible is just a barrier to someone who refuses to take the first step. That's impossible. So, where do these roles come from? Historically, gender roles were shaped by survival needs. In hunter-gatherer societies, physical strength was necessary for hunting, which became associated with men. Women, who were often the primary caregiver, took on roles related to nurturing and managing the home. These divisions eventually turned into rigid expectation. Again, that word, expectation. Religious and cultural traditions reinforced these roles for centuries, often teaching that men are the leader of the household and that women should be submissive and quiet. In many cases, these roles were justified as natural or biological, which is complete bullshit. Complete garbage. If your religion teach you to hate somebody because they don't fit the norm, then you know what? You need to change religion. Simple as that. You're not being religious, you're just being an asshole. Everyone deserves to be loved equally. Science now tells us that gender roles are not hardwired. While biology plays a role in some differences, the vast majority of gender-related behaviors are learned and socially constructed. That means they can change, and they are. You know what? I love kids today. I say kids. I love young adults today because they have it right. A lot of them have it right about gender. And I wasn't always on that boat, but I am. I've been on that boat for a while now, and I love it. I love that you guys are not sticking to just one thing or another. I love that you guys can be diverse. Keep going. You're on the right path. The influence of media and education. From early childhood, boys and girls are taught to behave differently. Toys, books, cartoons often promote stereotype messages. Trucks and action figure for boys, dolls and makeup kits for girls. These small signals add up, shaping how children understand what it means to be male or female. Media also play a huge role. Movies, TV shows, music videos, and advertisement often reinforce traditional gender role. Even when women are portrayed as strong or independent, they are often still judged based on their looks or their relationship with men. Men, on the other hand, are often expected to be emotionally distant, aggressive, or career focused. Let's talk about this here. Why can't men cry? Why? Why can't men be allowed to express themselves fully? Women are. Why can't we? Oh, wait a second. We can. But again, society drives that on us. I was talking about that in the previous episode where I was talking when I was 8 years old and one of my uncles gave me a present for my birthday and I wanted to give him a kiss. And my father, and I love my father to death, God rest his soul, he jumped in right away and said, oh, no, you don't kiss other men. We don't do that. That's damaging to a young child, just so you know. Let boys express themselves. Teach them to express themselves. Encourage them to express themselves. The world will be a better place for it. Education can either challenge or reinforce these roles. Teachers and schools system that promotes equal opportunity and diversity helps students break free from outdated expectations. But when schools encourage traditional roles like pushing boys towards science and girls towards caregiving career, they limit the student's potential. When we do that, we limit our children's potential. We also harm our children when we do that. Stop putting gender expectation on your kids. It's not right. Let them discover for themselves. Okay, so how gender roles affect society? Gender roles don't just affect individuals, they shape entire societies. When people are placed into roles they didn't choose, it leads to stress, mental health issues, and social inequality. For example, workplace inequality. Women are still underrepresented in leadership roles and are often paid less than men for the same work. Men, on the other hand, are discouraged from entering caregiving professions or taking paternity leave. So under mental health, men are often told not to cry or express emotion, which can lead to bottled up feelings and a higher rate of suicide. Women may feel pressure to always appear kind and agreeable, even when it harms their well-being. Again, what's wrong with that? Everything. That's what I was talking about earlier. When we don't let men express themselves, it's going to blow up. Why are men so violent? Most of the time it's because they are not allowed to express their fucking emotions. Let the person who's male in your life express themselves. Don't mock them. Don't tell them they're too sensitive. Try to understand where they're coming from. We have emotion just like everybody else. And when we cannot express, guess what? Kaboom. And for women, you don't have to always be kind, agreeable. You don't have to always be nurturing. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Family dynamics. Traditional gender roles can create unbalanced relationships where one partner carries more emotional or financial burden than the other. Let me give you an example of that. And that's like the example you're going to think. It's been my experience. And I've seen that. Where one spouse is secretly gay or lesbian and only use their other spouse as a cover for them not to be detected. What kind of harm do you think that does? I've seen that. It's cruel. It's so fucking cruel to the other person. But because it's unacceptable in society, they'll try to do whatever the fuck they can to hide that fact, even harming their own spouse, children, family, whatever. LGBTQ and discrimination. People who don't fit traditional gender norms, like non-binary individuals or transgender people, often face social rejection or discrimination. Why? Are they not people like anybody else? Why? Because they don't fit the norm? Again, that word, norm, normal. Define me normal, and then I'll fucking define you what you should be thinking about. Normal is just another expectation that we have. There's nothing normal in this world. You can't define just something as normal. It's not. Traditional, maybe. Normal, discriminating people because of who they are, and who they represent themselves as, that's wrong. That's not just wrong, that's criminal. That's criminal. Hating for the sake of hating? You know what? If you don't understand these people, go talk to them. Go talk to a person that's different than you. Change your perspective. Change your point of view on things and listen. Listen to these people. And listen to understand. Don't listen to reply. Change your point of view. Listen. Understand. Then you can form an opinion. But you know what? Having an opinion of somebody before even having ever talked to them, that's fucked up. You need to review the way you live if you do that. It's not right. The shift toward gender equality. Thankfully, the world is changing. Movements like feminism, LGBTQ, and advocacy and gender equality campaigns are challenging the status quo. More people are speaking out against rigid norms and embracing fluidity, diversity, and personal choices. Young people today are more likely to reject stereotypes and redefine what it means to be masculine or feminine. Social media has created a space for open discussion where people share their experience and educate others. There's another word that I love: educate. If you don't understand, educate yourself before you put on or before you project your negative feeling on somebody else. Educate yourself. Look and learn to look at things from a different point of view. Stop being so freaking rigid and think of how that other person feels. What if it was your son, your daughter? Will you reject them? Yeah, you're a great fucking human being if you do that. Workplaces are also becoming more inclusive, which is a good thing. Many companies now offer parental leave for all gender, promote equal pay. And I don't even know why we're still doing this in 2025. Women can be as productive, if not more, than men in a lot of areas. So why are they fucking getting paid less? They're not worth less. They're equal. Many companies now offers parental leave for all gender, promote equal pay, and support diversity training. Schools are beginning to teach gender studies and promote inclusive policy for students of all identities. Yay. I love that. That's a good thing. What can we do? If we want to create a more equal and accepting society, we must actively work to break down their harmful gender roles. Here are some ways to start. 1. Educate yourself and others. Read books, watch documentaries, and follow creators who talk about gender equality. And like I said earlier, talk to somebody who's transgender. Talk to somebody who's gay. Talk to somebody who's lesbian. Talk to somebody who refers to themselves as non-binary. Learn to listen, to understand, and learn how that person is. Learn about that person. If you're going to hate them, learn about them. And after you learn about them, tell me you hate them. You probably won't. Challenge stereotype is number 2. When you see or hear a gender stereotype, question it. Encourage others to do the same. When somebody says, no, fucking this, fucking that, ask them, hey, what's wrong with that person? Why this, why that? Support equality in the workplace. Advocate for fair hiring practices, equal pay, and inclusive policy. And you know what? That should already be everywhere, as far as I'm concerned. Raise children without limits. Allow kids to explore their interests without gender-based restriction. Let boy cry. Let girl lead. Let the boys play with doll. What's wrong with that? What, they might become nurturing? Oh, we need to stop that right now. Stop the macho bullshit. Let boys discover who they can be. Let girls discover who they can be. You know what? You work on your car for the guys there, and your little girl is interested in that. Hey, pop her a place beside you and teach her. She might become a mechanic. She might become an engineer. She might become a fucking astronaut for all I care. All because daddy encouraged her. Listen to diverse voice. Amplify the stories of people from different gender, identity, and experiences. Just like I was saying earlier. Listen to them. Have a conversation with somebody that's not the same as you. You might be surprised. In conclusion, gender roles have shaped our world for a long time, but they don't have to define our future. By understanding where these roles came from and how they affect our lives, we can choose a new path. One that values people for who they are, not what we are expecting them to be. Again, education comes in play here, because by understanding where these roles come from, If you don't educate yourself, you'll never change anything. If you don't educate yourself, you'll never change your perspective. If you don't educate yourself, you'll never change your point of view. And I'm not talking about going to the university there and get a degree in something. Educate yourself. Go on the internet. Look up some stuff. Educate yourself. And once you educate yourself, then you can formulate an opinion. But if you formulate an opinion before you educate yourself, you're just another asshole with a mouthpiece. That's all you are. Think and then act. So whether you identify as male, female, non-binary, or somewhere in between, you deserve the freedom to live authentically. Let's keep questioning, learning, and growing. The world become a better place when we make space for everyone to be seen, heard, and respected. Anyway, that's my view on gender and society. So, all right. So what have you done this week to help somebody else? Like Christmas is coming. I'm sure you guys were out there helping in whatever capacity you can. But what have you done? For me, I was placed in a little bit of a situation this week where I went to the pharmacy, and when I got out, there was an older gentleman standing in the middle between parked cars and just looking confused. So I kind of figured out what was going on. I put my stuff in my vehicle. I walked to the gentleman and I said, "Hey, listen, sir, can I help you?" And the poor old guy was he was almost on the verge of tears. He couldn't find his car. He misplaced his car. So I asked him, what kind of car it is, what color is it? And he told me. And it took less than 30 seconds and I found it. It was a big van that had parked right in front of it and he couldn't see it. And he was just disoriented. Anyway, so he thanked me very profusely and went on his way. So I hope I made his day. I hope that he can take that and, I hope that made his light grow and that in turn he can make, somebody else's light grow as well. It wasn't much. It took 30 seconds. Just like, everything else when you do for other people a lot of time. It doesn't take a long time. But I hope I know that I made his day. Because he was in a pretty big panic. Another thing I heard this week was a quote that was said by some lady I was listening to on the internet when I was doing my research. And she said, the world doesn't need more people who are intelligent. The world needs more people who are loving, understanding, and compassionate. And you know what? She's right. She is right. If we were more loving, understanding, and compassionate, this world would be a very different place. And that's why I called all my light workers on a few weeks ago to put out their lights out there, to show love, to show compassion, to show understanding. And you know what? So many of you are, and I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud that my last 2 videos exceeded 15,000 views. That's amazing. Never in a million years would have expected that. That means people are listening. I love that. Thank you. So I hope you all experience a loving holiday season. And I wish you happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, and a happy Merry Christmas. Anyway, as always, love, light, and shadows. Goodbye.